Hey everyone, welcome to the Essentials channel. Today we'll be doing something a little bit more special. So as compared to the usual mega new launch reviews or the usual conventional large-scale developments review, today we'll be doing review on a boutique development called Artisan 8. Will this be a work of art or will be a work of fun? Alright, so Artisan 8 is actually a redevelopment of the former Sin Ming Centre, which Apex Asia acquired and en bloc in April 2024 for 49 million. It is located within an established Bishan and Upper Thomson Road, basically wherever you always have your mee pok, tom yum mama, so on and so forth. That is the area. This development itself is just right behind the two previous boutique developments, Thomson V1 and V2. As always, we will follow the usual framework of analysing the property. Alright, number 1, the rapid fire info. Number 2, site plan and floor plan analysis. Number 3, why I will not buy Artisan 8. Number 4, why I will buy Artisan 8. The price prediction, as well as the final verdict. So far, I'm very grateful for all of your support. If you like what you see so far, please continue to like, share and subscribe as I continue to stay motivated creating unique content for you. Lots of ideas and perspective and time has gone into creating all of these videos. So please continue to show your support, and if you need to have any consultation, please engage me at 9456-9398 for a one-to-one consultation free of charge to cater to each of your scenarios. So now moving on to the rapid fire info. The project name is Artisan 8, the developer is Apex Asia, the address is 8 Sin Ming Road. The tenure, it's freehold. That's the unique selling point of this development because it's a redevelopment of Sin Ming Centre. Naturally, the freehold status retains. Expected date of vacant possession, 31 December 2028, which I think likelihood what I'm hearing from the ground is actually in mid to end of 2027. So if you're looking for something to move into quickly, actually Artisan 8 is actually a very viable option. Site area is about approximately 15,424 square feet. Basically, it's a boutique development size with a plot ratio of 2.92. Doesn't really matter since they are not going to be tearing it down anyways. So they are going to be adding another 2 more stories on top of the current development to cater to the plot ratio, and of course a little bit more units to cater to the residential demands. Alright, the land use, it is a residential with commercial at the first story. They are retaining the entire concept that they are having right now with the residential on top, followed by a row of commercial shops below. Proposed additions and alterations to an existing 4-story building with attic and basement car park comprising of 4 units of commercial shops, restaurants, 3 units and a supermarket at the first story, and residential flats above, total of 34 units. So the total number of units, you got 8 commercial units and 34 residential. Car park facility, you have 1 handicapped parking lot, 26 car park lots, 1 motorcycle lots and 10 bicycle lots. So this one actually hits the 80% car park lot mark, even despite being such a close proximity to the MRT station. So here's looking at Google Maps here. This is Artisan 8 where you are behind Thomson V1 and V2. Just by crossing the road, you will have reached the MRT station of Upper Thomson. So it is a 3 minutes walk to Upper Thomson MRT, 325 meters. It is within 1 kilometer to top schools like Tong School and Catholic High School, 2 minutes walk to Shunfu Market, and of course close to nature like MacRitchie Reservoir, Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park. So of course if you grew up in this area, then you'll be very familiar with the food options as well as the cafe options that you have here along Upper Thomson Road. Like myself, I actually grew up from Far Horizon Gardens, which is just opposite Lentor. My parents always bring me to what we used to call Thomson Plaza or Yao Han. That itself used to be my hangout place, and even till today is still down there, called Thomson Plaza. And of course, as you go further down, you get all the bars, the cafes, as well as the Roti Prata House, the mee pok, and I always used to have a little bit of Thai food here called Tom Yum Mama. Very nice Thai food there. So very vibrant area. Basically, you think about Serangoon Gardens, you think about Upper Thomson. These are the kind of places that you can also regard this as a Holland Village in the north area. So you got all your shop houses, the landed enclave. Basically, the vibes is something that's very special and unique. And if you actually grew up in this area and it brings back a lot of nostalgia and memories, this is a viable option for you to really consider. I would say that people who are purchasing Artisan 8 itself are people who are very familiar with the area, who really like the vibes, the environment, the atmosphere that it brings. They really want to be back at where they used to be, or they want to shift from a not so convenient area to this very convenient area with a lot of eateries, food, as well as shops, so on and so forth. This is a very, very good change of environment with a little bit of sacrifice to certain livability and lifestyle due to the development's limitations itself. So now we move on to the site plan and floor plan analysis. Basically, we have here is split between lobby A and lobby B. Lobby A itself will be stacks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Next, we have lobby B itself, which encompasses stack 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So what you can see down here is a very densely populated site plan. There is no facilities at all. Livability factors are quite low in terms of family communal activities. So if you are thinking of moving here to cater to your family needs because of your swimming pool, because of your playground, so on and so forth, basically it does not have anything down here. But what you move here for, like what I said, is actually for the environment, the vibes, the convenience, as well as the shops and eateries within this area. The food options are extensive. So to start off, we have the 495 square feet type A1 one bedroom unit. As we enter the main entrance, you are greeted with this very long foyer and corridor space that you can actually use for your shoe storage solutions. And of course, you head into the galley kitchen that moves into the dining area as well as the living area. And then finally, you have a little yard area of 5 square meters. And after that, you put your sofa and then your master. So this itself is like an open studio concept. 495 square feet, 0201 and 0301. Bear in mind, this is not a harmonized development, and that's why you will see AC ledgers as well as certain spaces that shouldn't be counted into the floor plan is within the floor plan itself right now. Is it an effective one bedroom layout? I think you'll be the judge of that. To me, For stack 1 itself, you will realize that actually the living room has no window. It has a sliding door to a yard which does not have any views to the outside, and then of course the views are mainly in your master bedroom. But then again, when you look out of your master bedroom, you'll be looking at the opposite unit and also the back alley. So moving forward, we have type A2, stack 3, 0203 and 0303. It is 398 square feet. As you enter the main entrance, you are greeted by this galley kitchen, followed by a small dining area, a 3.3 meter wide living room, and then followed by a master bedroom of 4 meters wide. Next, of course, you'll be having a master bath on the right of the master bedroom. So given the odd-shaped building structure, that's why you would have the odd-shaped layout that we see down here, with a little bit of wasted space on the side of the master bedroom that is facing the window. And that is why you will see the developer drawing in the wardrobe space there to your storage solution. Alright, that is probably the best way to make use of this odd-shaped angle. Next, of course, stack A2 itself will look on to the main road of Jalan Isnin. It's a small filter lane, which I don't believe there'll be a lot of traffic, but definitely you will still get a little bit of traffic. Beyond and being at the second and third floor, you'll probably get the view of the trees out there. Next, you have type A3, another variation of the one bedroom. It is 0208 and 0308. So we are going by the categories of the bedroom types first. This is actually in lobby B already. As we enter from the main entrance, it does give you a little bit more privacy with that turning point into the living room. So this one is actually a little bit more regular layout that we are much more accustomed to. You have your living area, a separated dining area, and then followed by your kitchen. A living area where you can actually put in a sofa as well as a TV using the wall on the right. And from there, you branch out to your one bedroom, which is about 13 square meters. I think this is quite an ideal size one bedroom. 13 square meters for the master bedroom can actually fit in a good king size bed with 2 side tables, comfortably put in the wardrobe, and you still have good leg space. And of course, you can see that at the bottom there, right beside the AC ledge, there is this recessed area which you can actually put in a desk or additional wardrobe space. Next, we have the master bath at 6 square meters. I wouldn't call this a master bath because there is no direct access from the master bedroom itself. Like what I always say, for a one bedroom to have an effective layout, the best is you have a Jack and Jill access, which you can access directly from your master bedroom. Else, whenever you have guests over, you can lock up the doors within your master bedroom and have the guests utilizing the toilet without actually going through or intruding into the privacy of your master bedroom. Also, having the master bath face the kitchen isn't exactly very good feng shui, or a lot of people may not be that accepting of it because you have the toilet right beside the kitchen. That itself may not be something that we are quite accustomed to in today's market. And then of course for type A3, stack 8, the living room is looking out directly at the valley and the walls of the opposite building. So overall, you would feel that the daylight or the natural light coming into these units will be quite dark. And of course, this one bedroom at 506 square feet type A3 is one of the better layouts, I must say, for the one bedroom, but unfortunately the facings may not be so ideal. Next, we move on to the two bedrooms, which is type B1, 667 square feet, stack 2, O202 and O302. This one itself is actually facing Jalan Isnin, probably looking at the trees again. The layout is in a way like a trapezium. As you enter from the main entrance itself, you are greeted with a foyer of 4.2 meters, and walking in, you will be greeted by the kitchen area. Next, we have 4-meter wide wall that fits the dining area and living room, and a 2.7 meter wide living room so that you can have a wall-mounted TV at the wall of bedroom 1. Next, we move down the corridor space. You will be greeted with bedroom 1 and 2. This is your traditional 2-bedroom type, but you do realize that because of the odd-shaped bedroom that we have in bedroom 1, although it is 9 square meters, but the pillars actually take up a little bit of the space, making the shape irregular. And because of the irregular shape, you can only fit in a super single bed despite it being a 9 square meter bedroom. Comes with your wardrobe, and then we move on to the master bedroom. Fortunately, it's still able to fit in a queen-size bed of 13 square meters, but you realize that the layout is does not have a drawing of 2 side tables, meaning to say that because of that odd-shaped pillar again, you are unable to put in side tables. Your 13 square meters master bedroom is not like how your usual new launches that you are so used to. It's not as efficient like how the usual new launch that you are exposed to. And of course, you have the bathrooms running in parallel to the bedrooms. Next is of course another version and variation of the 2 bedrooms. We have type B3, 786 square feet, O205 and O305. Now this faces the cross junction of Sin Ming Road and Jalan Isnin. Again, it faces the road, but I think you will have a brighter view here because at least you'll get an open view from the Sin Ming Road side. You are still surrounded by buildings, but just nice in front of you, there is not much obstruction. As you enter from the main entrance, you are greeted with a very long galley kitchen of about close to 4.5 meters. There is a little bit of a recessed area for you to fit in your dining set of 4-seater, followed by your living room area with a 2.8 meter wide living room. I think okay for a 2-bedroom, 2.8 meters wide. Next, we head into the bedrooms. Bedroom 1 is 11 square meter. Fortunately, we can fit in a queen-size bed with a side table, but because of that odd angle pillar sticking out, it ate into the 11 square meter space, and from there, you will realize that there's not much space to put out. The only consolation you can get from this is it helped you create a segmentation of space where you have that space there where you can fit in your desk or maybe a dressing table. Next, we have the master bedroom, 17 square meters. We have a wardrobe space once you enter the entrance of the master bedroom. You can fit in a king-size bed or a queen-size bed with 2 side tables as well as the master bath. Alright, fortunately, it is a 17 square meter, and that's why the odd shape didn't cause any inefficiencies within the master bedroom. It is still livable. Alright, so it depends on how smart you use the space. Fortunately, there is a pillar that creates a flat space instead of a sharp angle, and probably you can wall mount a TV there. Of course, 786 square feet might be a familiar number to you because if today you are looking at a GFA harmonized development, 786, something like Springleaf, will probably be able to fit in a 3-bedroom flex, and you can see how efficiently the space is used in those developments as compared to this. Basically, for this one, it's limited by its building structure, and that's why you will have this odd angle or odd shape irregular layout, and the developer tries their best to make full use of the space given. Next, we have type B4, 721 square feet, O207 and O307. Again, this one faces the back alley behind. When you look out of your windows, you would get the opposite building's wall. The layout itself is quite regular. As you enter from the main entrance, you head into the living and dining. Unfortunately, it does not have a designated kitchen. It is still an open concept kitchen. 2.9 meters wide living room, and then this is a traditional 2-bedroom. You head into the bedroom 1 of 11 square meters. Fortunately, the layout is a little bit more regular, and you have this extra recessed space for your study table or dressing table or additional storage solutions. I think this 11 square meter is a very good, efficient way of using the space. In fact, 11 square meters in today's context can be somebody's master bedroom in some projects as well. So if you imagine and visualize this, your second bedroom is just like a master bedroom of other developments, which can be very spacious. Next, running in parallel to it is your master bedroom of 15 square meters. Generally, I think this is the best layout in the entire development, but it does not have the best facing as it faces the back alley as well as the opposite building's wall. Then you have of course the master bath and the second bath running in parallel against each other. Next, we have another variation of 2-bedroom, which is the type B4H, 721 square feet, O405. Similarly, Similarly, it follows a similar layout as what we have just mentioned before, just that it is on level 4, step 5. Next, we have type B5, 732 square feet. As we enter the main entrance, we are greeted by this galley kitchen. Moving forward, we have this very wide living room space of 3.2 meters with a length of 4.5 meters, a specific dining area. Next, we have bathroom 1 just entering from the main entrance, and then followed by bedroom 2, which is 10 square meters. Instead of leaving that recessed space above empty, they have shifted the wardrobe into that space itself. I think this is a more effective use of the space that they have in bedroom 2. And then of course we move into the master bedroom. Of course they do what they can do to fit into the trapezium shaped unit. Master bath and second bathroom are both 5 square meters. Something that you don't really see in today's market, because usually your master bath needs to be able to fit in a wheelchair, do a 360-degree turn and then come back out. So I don't think with this space itself you are able to do so. But because this is an en bloc development and it's a redevelopment of it only, you do not specifically have to follow URA rules per se. Next we move into the 3 bedrooms, type C1, 1023 square feet, stack 9, 0209 and 0309. As we enter the main entrance, you see an L-shaped kitchen with the dining area in the center of the kitchen. We break out into the living room of 4.4 meters length and 3.0 meters wide, still livable in that sense. And then it follows the traditional 3-bedroom layout. As we head down the corridor, we are met with bedroom 3, which is about 10 square meters, bedroom 2, 12 square meters, and of course the master bedroom of 20 square meters. I think it gets a little bit more livable in this layout itself with such a big master bedroom, a big squarish and regular shaped. The bedroom 2 is still able to fit in a queen size bed with a side table, and they have used the recessed area as a wardrobe solution. And of course your bedroom 3 being at 10 square meters with their regular layout, you're still able to fit in a queen size bed, and they have again used the recessed area to create a wardrobe space. So with that in mind, I think overall for the 3-bedroom layouts is quite livable, but the fact that it does not have an enclosable kitchen actually brings down the livability factors by a lot. And the second part of this, what irks me, is actually the dining area, because there is no specific dining area. Whenever we see layouts like that, the dining area being in the center of the kitchen, meaning to say there is an overlapping area of usage. So that also brings down a little bit of the livability factors. So if you look at it, if you are a family trying to move into this area, you look at this layout, you know it does not meet your needs of the family, because number one, it does not have a storeroom slash a utility room, let alone a utility toilet. Even if you go into the market looking for resales today, a 1000 square feet unit should have a separated space and a designated space for dining area, but this doesn't have. At least this one, the living room still makes the cut, and then followed by the bedrooms that have odd shaped angles, layouts and pillars within the unit itself. So I think this actually causes a lot of hindrance to the livability of a family today. Type C1 faces Sin Ming Road, so to add to the disadvantages, you get the road noise as well. Next we have type C2, 850 square feet, 3-bedroom, 0212 and 0312. The views generally, they face the side alley. Instead of the back alley, now they face the side alley, probably where the small road cuts into the development itself. It's not exactly the best views and the most livable of them all. Coming in from the main entrance, you're greeted by this long corridor space. Once again, an L-shaped kitchen, but this time around, this L-shaped kitchen, you are able to probably build glass windows or glass panels to enclose it. Have a dining area, a 6-seater dining area, followed by the living area. This is probably one of the more livable layouts, despite it being in a very odd, irregular shaped layout. Okay, so but moving forward, you have your living room area of 2.7 meters. Because of the slanted perimeter, that's why you get a smaller space for your sofa, that wall. Alright, and then moving forward, you break out into the 2 bedrooms. The master bedroom on the left of 11 square meters with your master bath, your bedroom 2, which is 12 square meters, 2.6 meters wide. I think this is quite ideal because there is a designated space for the wardrobe area. Moving into the bedroom 2 means you get a big, spacious, square, regular shaped one that you can decide how you want to place your furniture, as well as bedroom 1, which is 10 square meters, like your usual conventional bedrooms, but just that with that odd slanted perimeter again, it eats into your usual regular shaped space. And of course, if we look at the master bedroom, you only have one small tiny window, which is the size of your side table. Next, we have type C4, 3-bedroom penthouse, 1259 square feet, 0406. This is something very rare given the GFA harmonized policies right now. To be able to find something like a penthouse in today's market is so rare. So if you're looking for something very special to stay in, and you really wish that the market can actually provide you with some options like this, probably Artisan 8 may be the one that can fit your needs. So as you enter the main entrance, you are greeted with a 3.7 meters wide living room. Not bad actually. And then of course a dining area, and again no enclosed kitchen. Bathroom 3, And then a utility room. Yay, families can stay here. Then we head up through the stairs, and then you're greeted with this void area. Probably that's where your high ceiling is. And then you head into a family area of 8 square meters, and then you break out into your 3 bedrooms. Bedroom 2 of 11 square meters, bedroom 1 of 9 square meters, and master bedroom of 17 square meters with the wardrobe space of 6 square meters. You get your walk-in wardrobe, you know. This itself forms like a junior suite for bedroom 2, and then master bedroom, and then you have your common bedroom in the center in a way. So take note, they actually have dual entrances. So if you want to have a dual key concept or break it into a co-living concept, this layout actually is very good. It's doable, and it's probably the most regular shape layout that I've seen in the entire floor plan analysis. I don't usually say this, but this penthouse may just be a very livable option as compared to all the other layouts that we have seen so far for this development. In terms of the view-wise, you're facing the back alley and the wall of the opposite development. #1 project in Singapore today. Next, we have the 4-bedroom layout, 1313 square feet. Again, as you walk in from the main entrance, straight away on your right side, you have your stairs. As you proceed further into the living room area, you will cross the kitchen first. Once again, there is no enclosed kitchen, but this time around, you can fit in an 8-seater dining set, followed by a living room area with only 2.9 meters wide. Because of the trapezium shaped layout, you are greeted into an odd-shaped first bedroom on the first floor. This time around, you can see how you want to utilize this space here, because actually it's quite big in terms of the space that is wasted behind. Probably it can act as an additional study area or walk-in wardrobe for the person staying in bedroom 1. So let's head up the stairs. As we head up the stairs, mind you, all of this space is considered within your strata title, and then you break out into the bedrooms. You have bedroom 2, 3, and the master bedroom. Bedroom 2 is 9 square meters, but because of that slanted perimeter, again, your bedroom space is wasted. Bedroom 3 has a regular square-shaped layout, so the 12 square meters is fully utilized. I think this will be quite comfortable. Next, we have the master bedroom of 15 square meters, but it doesn't feel so big again because of all the odd angles and the irregular layout. This one, 1313 square feet, I feel as a penthouse is totally waste. It just feels like I went back in time. It's been a long while since I ever saw unit layouts like this. Basically, all our URA policies was exactly to curb and counter all of these layouts. But in the end, we are still seeing it in today's market because this one is an en bloc and a redevelopment of the previous development. So it does not have to follow URA rules in a way. It still follows the URA rules of whatever that was in the prevailing market back then. Just that this one got no bay window and planter box, which is, yay, a consolation for us. Next, we have the 4-bedroom plus study. 1711 square feet, only 1 unit type, 0407. As we enter the main entrance, again we have the stairways, followed by an 8-seater dining area, a 3.2 meter wide dining, followed by a convergence of space to a 3 meter living room. Again, because of the slanted angle, it eats into the space. Next, this is the only layout that I've seen so far. There's an enclosed kitchen of 10 square meters, as big as a bedroom size. This is superb. And then of course we have a utility room of 4 square meters, bedroom 1 at 13 square meters with common bathroom at 5 square meters. And then we head into the master bedroom of 20 square meters with a master bath of 6 square meters. Next, we head up the stairs. We got a study area of 12 square meters. I think this one can double up as a room as well. So instead of 4 bedrooms, you can make it into 5 bedrooms. And then bedroom 2, 9 square meters. And then followed by the master bedroom 2 of 15 square meters. There's a void area that also will be considered as part of your space. Probably this is where the high ceiling is that leads down to the living room. This is along Sin Ming Road, probably the best stack you can buy, but also the biggest stack there, so you push the quantum quite high. The livability factors largely improve for this one because at least you have an enclosed kitchen as well as a utility area, and you can in fact convert the study into an additional bedroom. All bedrooms are above 10 square meters or minimally 9 square meters with a slight odd shape disadvantage, but other than that, families can really still visualize themselves staying here. Next, we move into the final layout, which is the 5 bedrooms. There is only 1 unit type, which is unit 0404. The unit number itself is already a headache, but never mind. 1884 square feet. As we enter from the main entrance, we have the staircase. You can fit in an 8-seater dining set as well as the designated living area of 3.2 meters and 4.5 meters long. So I think this one is probably again the most regular shaped layout in the entire development already. Alright, we have a corridor space. As we head into the corridor space, on your left is an 11 square meter kitchen, very luxurious, and then with the bedroom 1 running in parallel against it, as well as the master bedroom. Bedroom 1, no odd shape, no pillars, no odd angles, 13 square meters, very livable. Master bedroom is 19 square meters, You can fit in your king bed with 2 side tables as well as a wardrobe area. You have all the utility room and utility toilet, bathroom 1 and master bath running in parallel against the bedrooms. The most regular shape layout in the entire development. And I like the fact that the helper himself actually can get a room to herself and get a little WC to herself as well. Basically, her welfare is very well taken care of. As you head up the stairs, you break out into the 3 other bedrooms. Each bedroom is 10 square meter, with the second floor master bedroom being at 15 square meters with the toilets running in parallel to it. This is the best layout you can get in this development. I'm so happy to be able to see this because at least I can visualize myself staying here. Otherwise, the rest, I don't know what am I going to do with all the wasted space as well as angle, but most importantly, no natural light is coming in. So in a way, a step back in time, a step back in memory lane to finally be able to see these units once again. I thought we were over from the nightmare already, but to be able to see it in 2025 today, somehow again we are living this dream/nightmare. So do pick your units properly, maximize the livability factors as much as you can if you are ever considering to get into Artisan 8. Let's move on to why I will not buy Artisan 8. First of all, it is the boutique development. We are only having 34 units in this entire development. It is a redevelopment of a previous development called Sin Ming Center. There is not much transactions to drive up the prices for you. So like what we always say, we need price support, we need track record, we need buyers to feel confident that there will be somebody taking over from them. Then they will be able to have that confidence to pay for a higher price for your unit. Yes, it is true, right? You get the school or you get the amenities in the area, but number one, being a boutique development itself, the livability factors or at least the community facilities and the communal activities are greatly reduced. So remember, in today's market, the government vision of buying a property in Singapore is a need. So when it is a need, it also means the livability factors must be met. Being a boutique development itself, there is a very huge limitation on the facilities, the amenities, but most importantly, the communal facilities like your car parks, your playground, your lawn space, your swimming pool, all of these are practically non-existent apart from having a car park. Fortunately, they still give 80% car park, but if you have big families or a lot of visitors coming over, they can't come in and your needs are not met. So basically, for a boutique development, the livability factors are very low. When livability is very low, means needs are not met. When needs are not met, it means that prices will not be sustainable. So first of all, you do not have a good track record. Second, you do not have volume of transactions to help drive up the prices. And third, because of the lack of meeting the livability needs, you do not have a natural demand coming into this development, and thus prices will not be sustainable. To add on, for boutique developments, the quality of boutique developments are pretty much lower than average. Why I say that is also because developers are working with tight resources and budget. Because of the limited number of units of 34 units only, the amount of resources and finances that are flowing into the development itself is not that high to begin with. So with little resources to work with, how much more quality can you expect from the finishings, the premises finishing, as well as the units finishing? How much better a quality can you expect with limited resources? And most importantly, the track record of developer. It is not exactly the largest developer in the entire Singapore, and if you try to Google them, there's not much going on for this developer as well. So I'm not saying that they are bad developers. No. It's just the limited resources that generally a boutique development entails, and that is why there is a limitation to how good or how well the materials that they can provide as well. Definitely, they still need to pass BCA and URA standards and quality marks, but of course, you don't expect super high quality or atas quality within the development itself. Number two, why I will not buy Artisan 8 is the general layouts. There are many erratic layouts that we can find within this whole development. First of all, it is densely populated for such a small area. It looks like the developer is just trying to squeeze as many units as possible to maximize profits within this development. Next, it doesn't follow the minimum number of dwelling units URA policy, meaning to say we used to divide the GFA by 75 rather, and then now we have changed to dividing it by 85. Government generally changed this rule. It is also to reduce the density of developments. Remember, there was a time like Visionaire and Brownstone where development blocks run in parallel against each other with all their windows facing each other. It is because of this policy, in a way, that allows the developer to build a certain number of units. By increasing the general average size from 75 to 85 square meters, it will mean lesser number of units within the development, and that's why don't you realize that now the new developments all come out, they all have point blocks rather than long elongated blocks that run in parallel against each other. It gives a lot more livability to the units nowadays because most of the developments itself have built individual blocks rather than interconnecting blocks that look at each other. Their views are generally nicer now and more pleasant, which boosts the livability factors. So for this development itself, it does not follow such URA policies, and that's why you see how densely populated and how tight the units are with each other. And because of the odd structure of the development itself, it created many odd shaped layouts that reduce the livability factors. And with that in mind, with livability not catered to, the needs are not met, and that's why the prices will not be sustainable. I am very concerned about the layout factors within this development. Most importantly, there are good layouts in this development, but because of the erraticness of the different layouts, it might actually cause erratic pricing within your transactions itself, which again concerns me as a buyer. Now we move on to why I will buy Artisan 8. First of all, is the price gap comparing to the current new launches as well as to the resales as well. So if we look at the chart down here that we have, by February 2025, you will see that in the OCR prices, we are actually looking at 2383 PSF already. Alright, so with that in mind, now we are talking about Artisan 8 being in the RCR region and being a freehold development. And then we are looking at the Artisan 8 asking prices and starting from prices of 2350 to about 2400 PSF. You can get a freehold and upgrade in terms of area from OCR to RCR just by paying the same price PSF, or maybe topping it up by about $20 to $30 PSF. And if we look at the RCR PSF, we are looking at 2630 PSF, with Artisan 8 only launching at about 2350 PSF to about 24 PSF. Basically a 200 PSF gap between the average RCR new launch prices, and most importantly, you get a freehold. With that in mind, if we look at the prices of Jadescape as well, because we want to be looking at our opportunity cost. If we look at Jadescape itself, we have here the transactions, and we can see the 2 bedrooms are transacting at a quantum of 1.8 mil for a 17th floor, 1754, size of 764 square feet at 1.8 mil, but they are not within the 1 kilometer to Tong Primary School. They are within 1 kilometer to Catholic High only. For Artisan 8 itself, you are getting the access to both schools, giving you a little bit more options. Of course, if you want to compare apple to apple, you have Jadescape 0819 2 bedroom, 646 square feet, which is similar to the sizing that we get here at Artisan 8, transacted at 1.453 mil. But take note, this is a 99 leasehold. Of course, you get the full facilities, so it really depends on what you are looking for as a consumer. If we want to put it into perspective for you, basically you are paying the same quantum and same price for a brand new development that is freehold with all the amenities surrounding you, from cafes to restaurant, so on and so forth, with the access to 2 primary schools and 3 minutes walk to MRT only. You get the best of everything with a little bit of sacrifice in terms of the facilities and amenities that you have within the development. So you gain some, you lose some. It is just a placement of where you want your money to be, a placement of value. Meaning to say, if you want to allocate this amount of money because of the freehold status, because of the environment and the eateries, then you go for Artisan 8. But if you're okay to sacrifice a little bit of this for more family communal activities, landscaping, so on and so forth, then you put your money at places like Jadescape. But all in all, Artisan 8 itself is a brand new development as compared to Jadescape, which is already 6 to 8 years on the lease itself. Basically, you are paying the same for a new launch at a resale pricing with a freehold status. So more notably, probably what can put up a good fight is actually the 5-bedroom unit and maybe one of the 4-bedroom unit layouts that are at 21 to 22 PSF, and the layouts itself are very comparable or can even rival whatever that we have at Jadescape, but this time round you get the freehold status. But talking about choices, you're only having that 2 to 3 units available that is up for grabs. So in a way, your choices are pretty limited at Artisan 8, but it is more of a choice perspective of what you're looking for in terms of this area. I've actually got my social media editor here telling me that he actually prefers to stay in the Upper Thomson area where all the eateries are as compared to Jadescape. Reason being because he doesn't really use the facilities at all, and he has actually grown up staying in HDBs which don't really have that much facilities in the area. So that hasn't been part of his life. And him being a young adult below 30 years old, he values convenience more than all the facilities and the landscaping that a big development can give. So it's really up to the consumer's needs itself. Number two, why I will buy Artisan 8 is the renewed opportunity within this area. If you look at the map itself, there is no other empty plots of land that can accommodate any new developments. It has to be an en bloc or an amalgamation of different landers to form another boutique development, and that isn't very popular in today's market trend. So if you're looking for something within this Upper Thomson area where it is full of vibrance and proximity to the cafes, restaurants, so on and so forth, then yes, Artisan 8 itself presents the only renewed opportunity within this entire area. Because if you look at the previous developments, what you have is Thomson V1 and Thomson V2. And if we look at Thomson V1 itself, the layouts does not follow the newly improved URA policies. What you are seeing is what we were so exposed to last time, in terms of the nightmare of non-livable units. If you look at the site plan itself for Thomson V1, the 1 bedrooms are 11 units, the 2 bedrooms, 2 units, 2 bedroom plus penthouse, 4 units, and 1 unit of 1163 square feet, 2 bedroom plus penthouse with study. And if we deep dive into the layout itself, the 1 bedroom, a random pull out of 1 bedroom type D, it's a 420 square feet. As you enter the main entrance, you have planter boxes, bay window, AC ledgers that eats into the effective space of the unit. And with that in mind, that's why you see quite low profitability over the few years. Generally, over the last 2 years, there is only 1 unit of profitable transaction, a profit of about 170k, a holding period of 14 years, 8 months. So you locked up that amount of money just to earn 170k over the last 14 years. Of course, we can say that they have strong rental because of the lack of supply, where we see the 1 bedrooms there generally renting out at about 3,400 to 3,500 in today's market. Take a quick prorated calculation, it would mean that about 10 years ago, it would have cost about 2,000 to 2,500. Over the last 10 years, they would have collected close to about 300 to 400,000 of rental. Next, we have, of course, Thomson V1. The 2 bedrooms layout, there's only 2 of such type of units. Again, it is plagued with all the bay windows as well as AC. The bedrooms cannot even fit a queen size bed. The master bedroom can fit a queen size bed with 2 side tables, but generally the layout is very tight and may not be that livable, and that's why we do not really see that many profitable transactions. So now we have another example, which is Thomson V2. This is their unit distribution. What we have down here is 60 units of 1 bedroom, ranging from a size of 355 square feet to 603 square feet, 1 unit of 1 bedroom penthouse, and 2 bedroom 12 units, ranging from a size of 495 square feet to 947 square feet. Just nice, this project is launched in 2012, being a freehold. If you deep dive into the layouts itself, the layouts themselves are actually surprisingly quite livable. So this is a random layout that I pull out, let's say type H of 398 square feet. As we enter the main entrance, we have the galley kitchen, followed by a designated dining area with a living room, and then of course the master bedroom that can fit a queen size bed and a good wardrobe space. Pretty much quite livable, I must say. And then for type N, 441 square feet, we enter the main entrance, a bomb shelter with an enclosable kitchen, and then followed by the dining and living, and then the main bedroom. This is type N, 441 square feet. And if I just randomly pull out the 2 bedroom layouts, they are mostly penthouse units. If not, it's like a, let's take type K for example. Oh, this layout itself, as we enter the main entrance, your main bedroom is on one side. This is what we used to call the olden days dumbbell layout, but the second bedroom can't fit a queen size bed. So this is not exactly livable at all. Next, we have a 710 square feet, 2 bedroom layout. Generally, the second bedroom cannot fit a queen size bed as well. So I think for this development itself, the 1 bedrooms are very livable, but the 2 bedroom layout, just by pulling out random layouts, we can't really make use of the second bedroom that effectively. But if we look at the profitable transactions over the last 2 years, we see 1 bedrooms earning about 150k to 250k. The 150k one was bought as a resale 3 years ago from 715k purchase price and sold at 865k. Right, for one that was bought and sold recently, you have 250k profit after a holding period of 13 years. Okay, and then generally on average, the profits are on average ranging from 200 to about 300k for a boutique development. So who say boutique development cannot make money one? It's possible as long as the layout is livable and it still meets the livability needs of individual. There will still be an exit strategy, but probably because of the lack of certain attributes, then it limits the audience that will be looking for your development. But like what I say about my social media editor, he's okay to stay in this kind of area because of the vibes as well as the amenities. He does not have any need for communal activities or facilities facilities, but the convenience he values more. And as long as the unit is livable, he will actually consider moving here. And if we look at the layout Thomson V2 itself, the layout, just by randomly pulling out the one bedrooms, it is still livable, and that's why you see majority of their transactions still profit. Now we move on to Artisan 8. It presents them with a renewed opportunity because why? Thomson V1 and V2 were actually 10 to 15 years ago already. Meaning to say there is a pent-up demand in this area that there is no new launch happening in this area for the longest time. If we look at the pricings itself, Thomson V2 has TOP since 2012 all the way now will be about 13 years. So if we use that and prorate accordingly, we use a 3% inflation per annum. So 3% times 13 years will result in a 39% increment over the years. So today the Thomson V2 is already transacting at 1,700 to 1,800 PSF. We take that 39% times the 1,770 PSF, you will get 690 PSF. To be added on to 1,770 PSF, you get 2,460 PSF in today's market. So basically, if you look at Thomson V2 being sold as a brand new property today because of that very long gap in between, I use inflation to actually make sense of Artisan's pricing today. Our Artisan 8 starting price is about 2,350 to 2,450. Basically, it falls in that range, and that is why the developer is pricing this accordingly. So in a way, are you overpaying for this? Maybe you can get a little bit slightly discount. Maybe if you are comparing to the surrounding resale prices. I think due to the launchless supply over the past 13 years, I think the numbers actually add up, and that's why Artisan 8 is priced accordingly as what we see today. We move on to the final verdict of Artisan 8. Well, I think everybody has always been very concerned about the boutique development status and whether should they compromise a little bit of the lifestyle and the livability factors just to get a freehold status development. It really depends on which phase of your life you are in. If you are already in a retirement stage, then I think maybe considering Artisan 8 itself may be a very good viable option for you because of the proximity to the surrounding amenities, the food options, as well as the MRT station. You are really in a very good, quiet environment, but yet vibrant whenever it needs to. You go for the freehold status for legacy planning and to make sure that your capital is preserved, then I think Artisan 8 itself presents a very viable option, especially if you know how to choose the units, the layouts that actually maximizes your livability factors. So I think the key thing to take note at Artisan 8 itself is the livability factors, and there are some, no product is perfect, but you can be selective in terms of choosing the right unit to ensure your capital is preserved, at least with options of exit in the future as well. Next, I mentioned about the stages of life. If you are of course looking for the school and you want to maximize the options, then you have these two very important options, which is Tong as well as Catholic High. Usually within this Bishan area, you get either one of the two. Towards the Sin Ming side, you get Tong, but you lose out on Catholic High. Towards Shunfu side, you get Catholic High, but you lose out on the Tong side. Alright, and as you move further up, you get St. Nick's, but you lose out on Tong and Catholic High. So fortunately, this presents itself as a viable option that gets you the best of both worlds of Catholic High and Tong. So you have a backup plan. So if you are a young parent looking to get into a school, but you cannot go for the big developments because of a huge price gap quantum, then Artisan 8 itself presents another viable option for you, where probably you sacrifice a little bit of your communal family activities, your landscaping, so on and so forth, but you gain in other aspects and attributes like the surrounding vibrancy, the food options, so on and so forth. And yet you get the best of both worlds in terms of primary school options to maximize your chances of getting into a renowned primary school for your kids. I think parents are always there to sacrifice for their children just to give them a better life, or at least kickstart their lives with a good starting point. And I think by having these two options at your disposal, it actually puts your money into good use as well. So again, it really depends on your stages in life. But if you're looking for something to invest in terms of capital appreciation, then I think if you have been watching my previous videos, the livability factors are very important, especially if we are in line with the government vision. If we follow the government vision so that we can maximize our capital appreciation, then Artisan 8 itself may not be the best option so far, because as what I've analyzed in my layouts, the site plan, the livability factors are not exactly there to meet the majority's needs. And with that in mind, you will limit a lot of your exit options / strategies. Trying to offload this in future for a sizable profit may not be so easy. Alright, so if you're looking for that kind of investments to flip or to get the highest ROI within the shortest period of time, then this may not be such a viable option. But of course, if you're looking for something to rent, then this itself would appeal a lot to the expatriates, because expatriates are all about food, amenities, cafes, restaurant, the vibes, the environment, the atmosphere, and most importantly, the proximity to the MRT station itself. This is just 3 minutes walk away. So to them, they are not locking themselves down with a huge capital. They are just here to rent, hit and run. They just come here to stay in Singapore and go. Then this kind of environment will very much appeal to them, and that's why you see the rental yields being quite healthy within this area. You see the 1 bedrooms in Thomson V2 being at about $3,500 for a 1 bedroom. The 2 bedroom, if the layout is good, can go up to $4,500 or even $5,000. And of course, there are some parents that will also be renting this area just to use the address to get into the school. So yes, there is some form of consolation as well as there's some form of balancing act within this area, but it really depends on what kind of investment value that you are looking for. Of course, the usual misconception is boutique developments do not profit. I think, like what I said before, if it meets the livability needs, yes, there is clear exit strategy. Bad times, good times, you also can sell, you will profit. And here we have one example, which is Adana at Thomson. This is our latest boutique development within the area that I can find. It is TOP in 2018. It is freehold, sitting on a land size of 39,000 square feet. Not the biggest land size, right? Not the most unit. It has a total number of units, 74 units, by a small-time developer called Fortune Properties Private Limited. It is situated a little bit further away from the MRT station of Bright Hill, 890 meters. The unit distribution, take note, there is no 1 bedrooms, only 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and 4 bedrooms. Now, just by looking at the unit distribution, you would have already known this is not exactly a full-fledged investment boutique developments focusing on rental yield and being piled up with all the 1 bedrooms. Actually, you will see from here 2 bedrooms, 25 units, 3 bedrooms, 45 units, and 4 bedroom, 4 units. Now, what does this distribution actually mean? It means homestay needs are met. Meaning to say there will be natural demand coming into this development. And if we deep dive and look at the layout itself, here I just pull out a random layout we call a 2 bedroom A1, 560 square feet. As you enter the main entrance, you're greeted by this galley kitchen, a designated dining area followed by a living room area. This development follows the recent URA improvement of policies focusing on livability. Just by looking at the layout itself, you know that the bedroom 2 can possibly fit in a queen size bed, although a little bit tighter. The master bedroom can fit in a queen size bed with 2 side tables. The livability factors are met for this unit, and that's why you have natural demand coming in. And the focus of 3 bedrooms being 45 units actually bring in more natural demand. Families are okay to forego a little bit of facilities, maybe for a quieter environment or for a more private environment and atmosphere, because with lesser units also means more privacy as well. So if you look at the 3 bedrooms, I just randomly pull out an 872 square feet type B2 unit. Just by entering from the main entrance, you will be greeted with this enclosed kitchen, an area just like what we usually see in the normal layouts, a 6-seater dining set, followed by a very wide living room area of at least about 3 to 3.1 meters. Second bedroom can fit queen size bed with 2 side tables. Third bedroom can fit queen size bed with 2 side tables, master bedroom as well with the toilets in its respective positionings. You can see this is how livable the layout is, and that is why there will be natural demand coming in. People can see their needs being met down here. And with that in mind, if we just click on the profitable transaction over the last 5 years, you will see them profiting an average of about 300 to 400,000. The 3 bedrooms recently profit about 250k, the 4 bedroom about 429k. So who says that boutique developments cannot profit? It does take a little bit of a longer time, about 8 years to 9 years to 10 years with an annualized of about averagely 2%, but also think about the outlay, because sometimes boutique developments being smaller in scale, lesser facilities, also means lower entry price. And with that in mind, you meet your own personal family needs by having lesser outlay, but still being able to live in it and meet your own needs. And with that in mind, that is why your annualized drops. Instead of a usual annualized of 6 to 8% like what we see in other bigger scale new launch, you drop to about 2 to 3%, which if you're okay to sacrifice and it does meet your needs of going into a private apartment or condo or private unit, then yeah, by all means. Some people just really like the nature or greenery, just like Adana itself. So, final verdict of Artisan 8. If you really need the school, go for it. But there are other options that you can do and engage in, such as renting, so that you can get into the school. But if owning a property and you're okay to forego the facilities matters a lot to you, then okay, just go for Artisan 8, but be very mindful of your selection of units, because some of them really compromises a lot on the livability attributes that will cause exit issues. But then again, there are other unit layouts that I've highlighted that are actually livable, and you will still have an exit. Your annualized may not be that high, but still, you will still follow the inflationary rates and grow with the market of Singapore. Alright, so we have done something very special today by reviewing a boutique development. It's not the easiest review to do, so if you like my perspective so far, do remember to like, share and subscribe, but most importantly, consult me. My number is 94569398. Consult me so that I can cater to each and every one of your scenario. Some of you have reached out to me so far and I'm really grateful. Please continue this support as I continue to grow this Essentials channel. Let me know what else would you like me to review on and analyze on, and you may follow me in my other channels as well.